how much is pure fantasy versus actual experience? You know, that's the big irony, is like 98% of it is true stuff. And more often than not, the part that is fantasy is the part that I've had to add so that people will believe the true stuff. I always have to dilute and water down what people tell me. Because typically it's so fantastically coincidental and over the top that you wouldn't accept it in fiction. But I'm always looking for little inside glimpses of things, and at this point, little inside glimpses of things that I can talk about in store. In Lansing, Michigan, I was working out in the gym of a Marriott hotel on book tour, and Lansing is where the Germac hair care products are headquartered. So they always have, the hotels are always full of hair care people who are shipped in to learn about Germac products. And in this fitness center, there were all of these hairdressers, and they were all talking the language of blonde. 600 different words for blonde. And they were talking about the greenhouse effect. And I was thinking, how enlightened that hairdressers would be debating and bitching about the greenhouse effect while they did the treadmill in Lansing, Michigan. And I made the mistake of saying, you know, chirping in, saying, yeah, the greenhouse effect, blah, blah, blah. And they just looked at me. Because for them, you know those hair club for men hair pieces? They're basically, I guess, held on by sort of glue, but they sort of stitch them down with the existing hair around the edges that you have. And periodically, as that hair grows, the hairpiece gets really loose and starts to shift around. And so you have to go into a hairdresser that's approved to do what they call a tune-up. That is where you tighten all those little hairs to make the hairpiece go back down. But before you tighten all those little tune-up hairs, you have to lift the hairpiece. And the problem is that sweat and bacteria build up underneath the hairpiece. And when you lift that thing that's been in the sun, filled with sweat for weeks, you get what hairdressers call the greenhouse effect. That's what they mean. It has nothing to do with Al Gore.